Talking about being blessed, I've also just finished watching this interview with, what's his name? Dutchavelli. I fucking even forgot his name. That shows you everything that's happened. God almighty. God bless the guy though. Hopefully he's okay. I've just finished watching Dutchavelli's interview, where he tries to clear his name once again and basically announce, I think the main point of the interview isn't to clear his name, it's to announce he's now doing music again, which I think is a bit of a misnomer or a bit of a misdirect, because I think he's actually was dropping music, but no one cared. So I think he's trying to announce it again in an effort to kind of get the press rolling, so he can have a bit of attention back on his work and kind of re-enter the scene in that regard. And if you're wondering what happened to him, I think, was it 2002? No, 2020. Wow, it was 2020. Oh my god, it's been so long. He's in 2020. Dutchavelli was actually riding quite high. He benefited a lot from the lockdown, I think, and just his distinctive voice, and whatever reputation on the streets maybe kind of helped as well. But he was blowing up really big. He was doing bits in England, really doing bits. He came out of the blocks really hard, no pause. But unfortunately, straight after, it got revealed that he might have been a PDF because of some dicey text messages that were leaked between him and a young girl that was 14. And that girl, I think, was the niece of his old manager who passed away. So there's a lot of, conjecture about that online. People basically calling him a PDF, certain artists unfollowing him. And in the moment, he didn't react to it the best way. In the moment. Because I think as well, to give him a little bit of a bly, from his story, how he tells it, he basically went from being on the roads to making music. Or no, he went to being on road, going to jail, coming out and doing music. He had no time to adjust to social media and how to kind of interact with it and use it, even as being like a noteworthy public figure. He went straight from being a nobody online to a somebody, and had to kind of deal with that interaction. And I think, like a lot of like goons, road guys, whatever, they struggle a lot with comments, and they think the comments are like how it is outside. Because outside you can just beat someone up, right? You can just beat them up, you can just shoot them, whatever, and it's over. But online you can't do that, right? You can't bully the internet. You can't bully the comment section. So I think he tried to bully the comment section. He tried to intimidate them and shit, and it didn't work. Obviously, it made him look way more guilty, especially considering the allegations were quite serious. You can't just try and do bad man thing on the internet. It doesn't work. So the bad man response didn't work. It made him look way more guilty. Also, I think the pause, he took like a long time to reply. If I remember correctly, I think in internet terms, not in like normal terms, in internet terms, he took way too long. I think it might have been like 5 days to reply, which is basically a year. And with those kind of allegations, if you're innocent, I think we've all said it before. I know I've said it ad nauseum. Anyone accuses me of anything fucking heinous like that, I mean, I'm exhausting every option within my control to clear my name. But I'm not going to stop talking about it. Do you know what I mean? Until my name is cleared. The same way how you're seeing Jay-Z going super hard at its accuser, because you know how much I can damage your name, and still there's some people that are going to believe the allegations. You have to come out swinging, especially when it's involving kids. And the fact that he didn't kind of made people feel a bit away. And then of course what made it worse, I think, in my opinion, was that the mother of the girl came out and basically released a statement defending him, which I think didn't sit well with people, because it sounded like she was protecting the bag. Like, okay, this guy is an earner. He's one of my husband's artists who died, which is obviously the old manager. And I want to keep him in my good books and, make sure that he's sending me whatever to kind of keep quiet. So that was the allegation, that he may have sent the family money to basically put that statement out. And I think the other thing that also didn't help is his sister, well-known UK artist Steph London. She also was seen on screenshots which the person released, and I think the person was the old manager's son. I think the old manager's son had a long-running dispute with Dutchavelli, and I think they've fallen out. So he decided to kind of confront Steph London about what her brother had done. And I think as a normal sibling, she just defended Dutch a lot. But in the text messages, she was kind of sounding like she was trying to gaslight the guy into, like, I guess I don't know. It sounded odd. The message sounded odd. It didn't sound great. And I think it painted out the whole family to be quite manipulative, to be quite tone deaf. And it also maybe painted out Steph London to be essentially a PDF apologist. So all in all, it went to shit for Dutchavelli, and he just disappeared. Same thing happened to Octavian, which I think I have to give the UK credit for. Big up the UK. We have a lot of fuckery that happens in this country. But I think by and large, If your name gets stained with that kiddie little shit, if your name gets stained with any kind of R-word shit, you're done. Especially the artists. People don't, you're basically done. Maybe because we're an island and there's a small amount of people here anyway. So if you do get smut on your name, it's over. Maybe in the States, it's easier to kind of get away with it because, you know, it's a massive fucking country. But I think in the UK, once that shit is on your name, it's fucking over. So, but Dutchavelli's been kind of over. But I also think if you just would have just kept releasing music, like if he actually was innocent, which I don't think he is, if you just have to ask me, my honest opinion, I think he did that shit. But if he actually was innocent, what he should have done was just keep dropping music. The Baby style. You should just keep dropping music. Don't get me wrong, the Baby's not the same thing because he just said some wild shit on stage. But if he would have just keep dropping music, I think he would have been fine. I think the problem was that, like 6ix9ine, I think, in my opinion, this is my personal point, I think like 6ix9ine, he probably relied way more on other artists to create or make his sound than we would have probably known. And of course, when the allegation came out, those people kind of backed away from him, naturally, as they do, right? So I think that kind of hurt his ability to make those music, to make that level of music again. So the music probably wasn't as good as it was because everybody wasn't helping him to be a star because they saw money. Now they don't really see money. You're a liability. You got smut on your name. Allow it. So anyway, he sat down with this guy on this channel to clear his name. And I don't think it's a smart thing to do because unfortunately this guy, from what I've been able to glean from the interview, him and Dutch are friends. I don't know how long they've been friends, but they are friends. So it's already, you know what I mean? Not the most journalistic interview in the world. It's a bit of a softball interview, I have to be honest. And even though it's a softball interview, I feel like the interviewer is trying his hardest to kind of help Dutchavelli navigate this whole thing. And he still is unable to kind of, you know, really fight his case correctly. And there were some bits in it that were just kind of nuts in general. But this might be the most concerning bit. The clip that Shade Borough have clipped here. Where essentially he tries to paint himself out to be the victim. Which is a bit nuts. But let's play the clip anyway. So Dutchavelli trying to clear his name.
I'm basically a victim of cyberbullying or cybercrime. That's how I got treated. I didn't get treated as no suspect or nothing like that.
Okay, now we've cleared up that part of it, who it was, where it was, the Fox situation.
Yeah.
That was to let people who don't know the situation know. So, elephant in the room is...
Alright, cool, let me stop you there. By the way, I'm looking into the camera and I'm looking at you. Bro, I don't need to chat to no 14-year-old. And on top of it, her mom's come out and said, this is all bullshit. The police reporters said it's all bullshit. The girl herself has said it's all bullshit. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? I'm basically a victim.
It's weird that you're calling yourself a victim of cyberbullying when you were trying to bully people out of talking about it, you know? It's kind of weird, right? When you kind of act like a bully on the internet, but then your cry into bullying is weird. I also think he tried to like go down the mental health angle because I guess he knows that's in vogue at the moment. Everyone's talking about it. And he tried to make it, he tried to insinuate that he was at the point of unaliving himself because of what happened. It's like, bro, come on. Come on, man. Be for real. Be for real. You were never going to unalive yourself at any point. Like, be fucking for real. So that angle was a bit mad. And then the angle of like, oh, come on, man. Look at me. I'm never going to hook up with a 14-year-old. That's a bit mad too. Because if I'm remembering correctly, what really hurt him was some of the circumstantial evidence relating to like one of those gas up lighties girls being into him and allegedly him smashing some woman. What's her name? Tez something. Tease or Tez something. And these two girls, if you don't know who they are, visually, they look very young. They're very short, they're very skinny, very slight in build. And it kind of gave people the impression, oh shit, he's got a type. You know? He likes girls of a certain, like, them, you know, stature. So it kind of lent credence, unfortunately, to this allegation that he may have done something with this 14-year-old girl. That's the really unfortunate part of it. It continues.
From the start, from day one, I've been rolling with Fox. I've been knowing that family. That family, Fox used to live with me, just to let you know how close we are. Yeah, do you understand? Fox also manages my socials along with his son. Do you understand? So me having these malicious communications, so to say, with this girl is impossible because these are the people that manage my socials. Do you understand? And how this story even broke, going even further, like to say that I was talking to this little girl, it's Fox's son. Fox's son and him manage my socials. This is one of the main areas that they manage. His son, because of jealousy and whatever, has edited messages and done whatever and then posted them on my gram to make it look like I was doing something wrong. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? When from the start, from day...
I get it, man. Like, I understand. I get it, but it's just too much. Like, I went back and watched a video on YouTube. Someone's got a video of the screenshot. So his account got hacked, basically. His Instagram account got hacked and his DMs got revealed. And I think, you know, apart from the really cringy DMs of him trying to get Drake's attention, which were really cringy, because I think Drake is he's good in that way where he kind of always reaches out. Like, if an artist is doing great, he'll kind of give you a little heads up and stuff. But you got to act a little bit cool. You can't be acting like a fan. You got to act a little bit like you've been there before. Like, maybe heart the message. You might say, thank you so much, appreciate it. But you can't keep hitting him up, like, saying, hey, I got a new tune, check it out. But that's what I think Dash was doing. So that made him look a bit mad. But whatever, put that to one side. The really damaging thing about those DMs, I remember watching it again over the fucking video, was the tone of the conversation. This girl's 14, which is bad enough, but she's also the niece of somebody that you hold dear. A guy called Fox, who's meant to be like a legendary gangster guy here in the UK, who unfortunately passed away sometime a few years ago. But if that's someone you hold very dear, you hold very close to you, who passed away recently, I don't think that's how you should be talking to their niece, you know, in any way, shape or form, because most likely you wouldn't do that when that person was alive. Even if that girl was of age, like, let's imagine she's of age, I still don't think that would run. The fact that she's 14 and she's the niece of that person who's his old manager who passed away, I think that's also kind of wild. But it's also what was said in the DMs, which is what maybe a journalist would have put to him. Like, you're Dutchavelli. You know what I mean? Like, you're not anyone else. Like, it's not that deep for someone to go through your DMs and to be trying to construct, like, and this wasn't AI times as well. This is 2000. This isn't during AI times as well. Like, how do you maliciously construct these DMs? What, do you delete stuff to make it look like a certain way? Okay, cool. Let's take that to be the truth. Then what's left still has to be explained. And what was left was still mad. There was that one screenshot allegedly that he sent to the girl where it's the image of like little TJ holding Ruby Rose when they were together, and Ruby Rose is standing in front of him, and little TJ's got his hand like next to her fucking vag, innit? And he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna recreate this suit. No, sorry, I think she might send it to him. I think the 14-year-old girl sends it to him, and he's like, yeah, well one for this. And then he replies like, oh yeah, don't worry, babes, we're gonna recreate this soon. Yeah, don't worry, babes, we're gonna recreate this. You know what I mean? We'll recreate this soon. And it's like, how are you saying that to a 14-year-old? And how are you saying that to your niece? That just sounds a bit mad to me. Like, and he's still never explained that. Like, what are you gonna recreate? What are you recreating? And then some of the DMs are just a little bit too flirtatious for my liking. And I think that was his main problem. I don't think anybody is saying with their chest that, you know, Dutchavelli may have smashed a fucking child. No one's saying that. I don't think so. The problem is, those DMs look mad. And there is no way to really explain it. Apart from they are what they are, you know? There's nowhere else to kind of rationalize it. I think this whole like hacking thing, throwing the son under the bus, revealing to the public that he had a bad relationship with his dad. Like, I think that was really in bad taste, by the way, because he mentioned it in the interview. He mentioned how the son allegedly fell out with the dad and had a falling out with him, and allegedly even before he passed, the dad always said his son was his biggest headache. Like, I'm sure these are things that are known within the ends that they're from, but we don't know this. We're strangers on the internet. We don't need to know this, the dynamic of their family and shit. He's reading all this stuff to kind of protect himself. And I think he also mentioned, even though he's trying to use the mental health angle to protect himself, I think he also mentioned, oh yeah, the son has some sort of mental health issues. Allegedly the son had to get fucking admitted to a psych ward or something. So basically saying, yeah, that person's claims are incorrect, or they shouldn't be held any sort of validity because the guy's mad because he's got something wrong with him or something. It's like, come on, bro. You can't be trying to cry that you're getting bullied and in another way you're doing the bullying. You have to pick one. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, I don't think this interview is going to do much for him. I think it's either going to, if anything, it's going to remind people just how much of a, for lack of a better term, idiot he is. Because, you know, that thing about the son was just really in bad taste. And I think if he was innocent, he would have really came out all guns swinging when that allegation popped up in the first place. The fact that he didn't provide all this context about the police and this and that and methodically go through what happened, I think has led him in bad stead. And I think it is what it is. You just have to accept the consequences of your actions. You did it. You weren't, you know, I guess for a long time maybe that was going on and nobody knew behind the scenes. But then I guess maybe it got revealed because of his ongoing issues with that son, who may have been the one, which I think was the one anyway, who exposed all the DMs and shit. it kind of is what it is. But I think this interview really was a bad move, all in all, and unfortunately made him look really fucking bad, really fucking bad. And it was a complete waste of time too, because the person interviewing him was his friend, even though the friend did try to press him for answers and clarify certain things. I think Dutchavelli came away from it not looking the greatest. But if it's a music thing, my personal opinion, I don't think you should ever get cancelled by the industry. I think the fans should be the one to decide. So if the fans decide they still fuck with him and they like what he puts out, cool, no problem. Keep doing your thing. But this whole clarifying clarifying what happened, trying to clear your name after the DMs that we saw, nah, I'm alright with that, man. I'm good with that one. And it's unfortunate too, because he's a really good artist as well. Very distinctive voice. I like the music he put out beforehand, but unfortunately, when your name is smart with that sort of shit, it's kind of over when it comes to my listening preferences anyway. It's kind of over when it comes to my listening preferences anyway.